Hello guys and welcome to the fourth video. This video is going to be about the priest. What can I say about the priest? She's a pretty awesome character. About level 18 one here. I've used her through both my playthroughs. I do believe she is the best healer in game. She has pretty sweet buffs. Let's have a look at her character sheet. I've been running her with 0% recovery time armor, but I always keep backup in my inventory, some heavy armor in my inventory because she is a bit squishy. I also put a shield on her second slot to help her out for those hard engagements. You can run dual wand, scepter, which is fine because her auto attacks are the only times really she doesn't really get a lot of chance to attack apart from the long encounters because she's a bit of a busy bee, buffing and healing and whatnot. I've got some items on you. I'll just show you quickly. I don't normally do this, but +2 intellect. Don't put that cauldron shard on until you've got Hand of Bereth, because it does return some damage as health. So put something else in that slot in the beginning. Some area of effect. These boots are pretty good. +1 cast to level 2 spells, +2 dexterity. Push and pull effects, +1 con, +1 priest restoration power level, +2 might, and this trinket come from Beast of Winter, so you won't be seeing that for quite some time, and a cloak of deflection, or protection rather. And so let's go and pick a character.
Ready when you are.
Or create a character.
What do you want?
Male or female, your preference. Human again. Network's fine. Single class. Priest. Only characters I haven't played in either of my walkthroughs, which I'm kind of looking forward to, are the Chanter, Cypher and Druid. I don't know what the Druid's going to be like. It looks quite complicated, but I'm kind of looking forward to that. But anyway. Aethys or Bereth. Aethys obviously has an extra power level to as heal spells, but Bereth has a power level to spell spells obviously. It doesn't matter really, I don't really notice that much difference. Aethys might be good, but later on you might feel that the trouble is when you get to the point where you go Hand of Bereth, everything becomes a little bit easier anyway, so maybe Aethys is the better option. So Google it, make a choice. I'm going to stick with Bereth for a minute. Restore, and we're going to pump everything into might. Take 2 off con. Pump a lot into 17 to dexterity. Leave perception as is. Drop resolve by not much, and take that up to. Can we get another point in that? Okay, that looks good. We're gonna get the dexterity, sorry, the intellect. That's a little bit weird. Yeah. An aristocrat, we'll just, yeah, we'll just take that. Wand and scepter, and some shield later on. Next. So let's take a quick gander at the character sheet, or his character sheet. Might 19, Constitution 8. Obviously with the Mariner's Porridge, which I've been talking about in all my other videos, that's going to take it up to, or him up to 20 and 10, which is fine. Obviously Constitution's a bit low, HP's a bit low, but as you can see from my level 21 here, that she still managed to drag out 280 when my fighter is 370, so her health pool will go up. She does lose a little bit of fortitude, but she does regain it from might. You find that I've actually got more fortitude on my healer than I do on my fighter, but not by much. Dexterity 17, which is great, so it's going to increase your action speed, which is your second most important attribute. Perception, not so important because we won't be doing a lot of damage. Intellect, the most important attribute on, and I'll go through the reason why in a second. Resolve, not so important. Obviously, she's gonna, if she takes a hostile effect, but she generally heals through it, and she does have some stuff that removes hostile effects, so it's not too bad. The will loss is negated by the will gain, and she does lose a little bit of deflection, which we can negate by sticking a shield on her if we wanted to. So 19, 8, 17, 10, 19 and 5, just fine. So get a little bit of intellect as soon as you can and get him up to 20 to give him that extra buff. As for skills, I'll go back to my level 19 character, level 20 character. You can put some in Arcana if you want. It helps you to use some scrolls from your quick slot items, which is fine. A bit in athletics and one in mechanics for the reason I covered for in the fighter video. If you haven't seen the fighter video, go and have a little look. I do explain why. I don't want to repeat myself. It's the same with that should be intimidate, and it's the same with intimidate as well. So if you haven't seen the fighter video, go and have a little look at that, because some things this video will make a little bit more sense. As for abilities, they will change. These are not the abilities that you're going to pick at lower levels. So there are some spells here that buff yourself, but they do get better as time goes by. That's an intellect buff, and that's an intellect buff, and that's an intellect buff. So I've got that buff, so you can remove these two. So this character, you don't have to, but if you want to get the most out of her, you might require a respec or two to remove some stuff you're not going to use anymore. These are the passive abilities. They're all pretty standard. I'm not going to go through them. Take this Spirit of Decay pretty much after or just before you've taken Symbol of Bereth, because it's the only decay spell that she has. I mean, I think there is one other one somewhere. Yeah, this, which Touch of Rot, which I don't use. So off the bat, she's got a Restoration spell and a Holy Power plus Might buff. But the trouble is with the Holy Power, the AoE is the area effect is quite short. It's only 1.5 meters, so you've got to cluster your guys together. So I found that quite annoying, because obviously my guys run off and do their own thing. Prayer of the Body, you'll be taking this as well. It gives no, sorry, that's the wrong one. You won't be taking that. This is the only spell in this line which is much good. I did use Holy Meditation a little bit, gives you +5 Resolute, and I did use Pillar of Faith a little bit at the beginning. Excuse me. We're not going to create any spiritual weapons, and this withdrawal is pretty useless, and this Repulsing Seal is okay. So feel free to mess around with the character. But at this level I found the Iconic Projection was the last really heal that I had, so it's kind of a backup heal really. And then when it gets to the next level, take this straight away. Consecrated Ground's pretty awesome. You'll be using it from level 3 all the way up to level 20. There are a couple of buffs. Excuse me, I do apologise. There are a couple of buffs. Prayer of Spirit is awesome as well, so this is the other one you'll be taking. The only problem is you'll only be able to cast 2 items from this line, so take Consecrated Ground first and then take Prayer of the Spirit, because it gives you a +5 intellect, which is going to increase your spell durations, which is fine. So you'll be popping this on yourself and then placing this on the floor. Next level, Devotions to the Faithful is great. It gives a +4 might to your entire team, but the duration is 5 meters, which is brilliant. And then after that, then you can stop using Holy Power, which is going to free up another restore, which is a good thing. On the next level, there is a revive. If you find you're falling over a lot, take it, but there is a Litany of Spirit, which gives another +5 to intellect. Once you get that spell, you won't have to use Prayer of the Spirit anymore, because they do not stack. So you can respec again, dump Litany of Spirit or whatever, or do not bother with the respec, but it does free up another Consecrated Ground, which is great. There is a spell here, Barren Death's Door, which I like. it stops people dying for about 8 seconds, but with the extra intellect you can get that. You can get that up pretty high. Does she have it? Yes, she does. To 15 seconds. So that literally, if you're finding you're getting into encounters where people are falling over in the first couple of seconds, which does happen because these guys are a little bit glassy. Make that the first spell that you pop, and that will free you up to obviously get your buffs off and your spell on the floor, your AoE spell running, and then it'll start healing up. And you can actually spam that twice because there's not a lot apart from the Litany of Spirit, obviously. Yeah. On the next level, a couple of good spells. Salvation Time is useless because it only increases the time of your spells by 10 seconds, which is not fantastic. Minor Intercession is good. It also negates, or reduces the time of negative effects, which is fine. It's just a bit of a heal. It's not a fantastic heal, but it's not bad. And the Spiritual Ally was quite good as well. I did use that for a bit, and that is very handy. So you'll be taking that spiritual ally, I would imagine. I did respec out of it because I found that late game I wasn't casting it. It's just shit, just too much to do. And by the time I cast spiritual ally, we were halfway through the battle. Next line, Minor Avatar, which is brilliant. You want to get this as soon as possible. It gives a +5 to everything. So once you cast this, you won't be using Litany of Spirit anymore. This lasts for about a minute with your high intellect, and it gives a max 40 health, strong, quickness, fitness, everything, basically everything, and 20% damage, which is brilliant. So once she's got that, you pretty much won't be putting any more buffs in her except for Shields of the Faithful, which gives an extra 20 to deflection, which is great. So these two are pretty much the best buffs you can get. It's a long way off, I know, but once you get there, it's a bit of a game changer. For her anyway, especially. Survivability just goes through the roof after these two things. And then after that, then you get the Symbol of Birth, which is amazing. When you get, like I said, when you get the Symbol of Birth, get the extra corrode damage. The other spells on this line are Crowns of the Faithful and Hand of Wheel and Woe, which are okay. Crown of the Faithful gives intellect buff to your wizard or whatever, and a couple of other things. But I found that you only get one, obviously, at level 18 or something, and then level 19 I think you get another one. And so, but there's some encounters I was spamming Symbol of Birth twice because it's only a minute duration. And on the last line I took Call of Rimgrand. I've tried the others, but I find that this spell is pretty cool. It drags everything into one spot, and when you put a symbol, it goes well with Symbol of Birth. Plop a Symbol of Birth on top of it, and it ensures that a lot of enemy take a lot of damage. And I think that's it. Nothing to write home about. A lot of stuff in the passives which are really good, so you want to be taking this stuff. But again, I'm not going to go through it bit by bit, so you'll have to decide which one is most important at the time. But the priest is a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with the priest. It's a great character. And let's have a look. It just came out of that. For the AI scripts, that should be set to list order. That should be set to POTD priest. Let's have a little look at that. Of course, same as all the other characters, health goes below 50%, cast a second wind. What this script says is if I don't have an intellect buff, cast Minor Avatar. I was setting, it's a lot easier than changing the timer all the time, so basically what it says is if I don't have an intellect buff, cast an intellect buff generally. So she's going to be casting that straight away. At this point, if anybody's taking a big hit and their health is below 50%, I'm going to cast a Bar and Death Door just to keep them alive for 18 seconds, and then I'm going to go into my other two buffs, AoE Might and AoE Defense. I don't know what's wrong with my headset, it keeps on knocking itself off. And then I'm going to spam, or I'm going to plonk down an AoE heal. This Quick to Rebel, it charms characters if I'm being attacked. The script isn't quite right. I could just do that actually. You won't be getting this for quite some time, but just a little bit of extra defense. As for the heals, anybody below 75%, just pop a Holy Radiance first. This Holy Radiance does give a little bit of extra power and some burn damage, and then start spamming your restores, then the minor intercessions, then the iconic projections. Target by lowest health. I don't have to put a timer on this because it needs to pass a 75% health check. And at this point generally you might be spamming a heal, and then we're going to plonk down a Call of Rimgrand, and then we're going to plonk on top a Symbol of Bereth. You can do these, that might be a better order, to be honest. I think they both have the same duration. No, the Call of Rimgrand's duration is shorter. So plonk a Symbol of Bereth down first, and then the Call of Rimgrand second, and then we've got to check to see if anybody's unconscious, and we're going to revive them. And that's it. Yeah, make sure you get your timings right, of course. That's set to 35 seconds. I don't think that's... Obviously which I've covered before, it's 20 seconds base, but you need to come out, save that, you need to come out, go to your character, and hover above, right click, and it says 30 seconds, AoE duration 30 seconds. But that's unbuffed, that is. With the buff, I've got it set to 36, with the buff gives an extra bit of duration, so it's about 36 seconds. I don't think I can actually buff myself. No, I can't. So yeah, so that's your scripts. Don't know if I'm missing anything. Yeah, so that's about it, I think. She's a bit glassy, obviously. This one is my second playthrough. This one is starts a little bit different to yours. But as you can see later on, she's looking pretty good. She got in might, dexterity, and intellect over 20 unbuffed. So with the buff, that takes it to 25, 26, and 26, which is great. And the defenses are all pretty decent as well. Yeah. Yeah, so have fun. I don't think I'm going to do a video on the Archer. The scripting is... Archer's quite simple. It's a bit boring, actually. Let me just load up. It was a bit boring in the start, but once he got that frostbite or whatever it was called, the weapon, it did start becoming interesting. This is the Archer. Once he gets Frostseeker, he does become quite interesting. You can pick up that Frostseeker, Google it, but I think that the encounter is quite early on, and it's somewhere around here. I think there's something around here from... You can just come out and attack and then just come down. I don't know what level it is, but you can get that bow quite early on. And yeah, so he's pretty much just spams. I never swap to Shoulder Shield, and there's some items in there, but I'm not going to go into detail because I think the fifth character, if I did it again, I probably would play a Chanter, a half a spec. So the fifth character is pretty open to do whatever you want. So yeah, so with those 4 base characters which I've covered, if you haven't seen the videos, go and have a little look. That guy still looks great. Look at that, man. With those 4 guys, you've got a pretty solid group. Obviously a fighter, a paladin, a mage, and a cleric. That's everything you want. I've been running that kind of team since the 70s, or the 80s at least. And I hope the videos have helped. If I've messed up anything, or you think I could have improved on something, please leave a comment. I'm in no way a master at this game, and I'm not brilliant at it. I read some stuff online, and I'm like, what the hell, how have these guys gone so deep into this stuff? And yeah, just have some fun. If you're having trouble with the playthrough, leave a comment, and I'll try to help out as much as I can. So thanks for coming, and enjoy, and bye bye.